It's a best of 5, guys. And we got ourselves a little prediction for you gambling addicts. Best of 5 TvT. I'm not sure if this final has ever happened in the European Open Cup. It could have happened in a North American one. Both of these guys play in North America. Clem kind of just worse in general over on North America, which might be very understandable. Of course, he's European. Of course he'd be worse. It's bad time and it's bad ping. But when we see people cross-server play, a lot of the time we see them do a little bit worse, but really not all that much worse. Like Zest still would win some of these Open Cups on Europe, for instance. And Clem does a surprising amount worse, I think. I do think that should he continue playing in the Open Cups for North America, a lot of it will be because he has to practice maybe like odd conditions, which I think is something worthwhile practicing. Day 9 actually suggested purposefully practicing with your desk like lower or higher, or your mouse not being in quite the right location to get you used to playing on LAN, which is quite fun. But anywho, top right Clem, bottom left SpeCial. I do think we are getting a unique best of 5, so that's cool. Maybe it's their second time playing. I could definitely have seen them make it to the finals previously, but it's usually fairly unlikely. And in this case, it's usually because SpeCial would face Clem in the semifinals, or here Marine in the semifinals. But since Raynor kind of did weird things to the bracket because he got seeded first, but as Protoss, his off race, he didn't get to the finals like you would usually expect. So we got ourselves this instead. And SpeCial is proxying, no surprise there. Clem is not going to scout with an SCV, but he is going to factory expand. If SpeCial were to continue proxying, I think we might see Clem add that SCV scout, but, you know, there's something to be said about knowing and not needing to SCV scout, right? But the reason an SCV scout usually comes down when you're kind of confident they're going to really cheese you is that the SCV scout means that you may keep your Reaper at home. Because this is literally the only thing that can go bad for a factory to expand. Is if this Reaper scouted the 2-Rax Reaper and the Reapers popped out and chased this Reaper down, the factory player is still kind of concerned. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Clem is mentally prepared for a cheese, but he hasn't actually scouted it. And the more that he doesn't scout it, the more he just saw a regular timed Reaper, the more chances there are that he's not physically, if you will, prepared to deal with it. That his micro is not on completely, and that is his units are not completely in position. Now it is Marauder proxy with Reapers, so it's kind of tempting to be the best of both worlds. But I think Clem going into the Reaper Hellion follow-up that he was is probably one of the better case scenarios for him. Maybe even the best case scenario. He has so much firepower, and the Reapers are really so much more microable than Marauders are, that you can see what happens, I guess. I would not have been able to predict what happens if I tried, which is why I didn't try. But now we see what happens. The Marauder proxy Reaper player is just not going to win anything. So this is potentially game-ending. SpeCial has invested a lot into this. Severely delayed command center. Even his bunker is not going to get salvaged by the looks of things. Pain. Very pain for SpeCial fans out there. Full pain. SpeCial's not one to give up, though, so he's going to try and produce that Cyclone to save his life, as the counterattack will be underway. And even if the counterattack doesn't do any damage, SpeCial holds perfectly back at home. He's still significantly later to the command center. So real bummer here. I think SpeCial was hoping to find someone going Reaper, Reactor, 1 Hellion, Marine. So a kind of a greedier build, basically. Not as early game attack units, right? It's my suspicion, anyways. Or he might even been hoping that it was a 1-Rax expand straight up, because we are on one of the larger maps. So there's that too. 3 Hellions are already injuring the Cyclone enough to kill it. GG. Well, that's how that game goes. For anyone who was wondering, it kept you up at night. You just sat in your chair thinking, what happens if someone proxy Marauders and builds Reapers? Well, that happens if they go up against someone reactoring Reapers and building Hellions. I have to write that down in my notebook for the 1 in a million chances I ever see that again. Quickly into game 2 on Berlingrad. Bottom right Clem, top left SpeCial, who is once again going to go for a proxy. By the way, guys, speaking of maps, might have some good news soon. If you guys didn't see the Reddit thread, don your conspiracy hats, put the tinfoil hat on. They did some pretty good digging, though. This is not just a regular old conspiracy theory, what if, and then no proof behind it. This is a good detective work. Someone noticed that there were 7 new maps uploaded, I think, by ESL, someone official, and then there were a lot of them were, maps that were done in the TLMC. So it seems very likely that we're gonna have new maps soon, and I'm hoping it's before Valencia. Although very awkwardly, if they are to announce maps, it's still kind of a unideal time frame for the pros. Valencia, the LAN portion of Valencia is late June. And a month and a half, a little more than a month and a half doesn't sound too bad, right? It's not too bad. If they start the maps on the regional tournament, then that starts in a week. Hold on. Yeah, that starts next week. So that's a little, that'd be a little crazy. All right, so SpeCial is proxying another barracks with a tech lab. He's going to try the Marauder proxy again. Is he going to try and do the Reaper? No, because he already got the barracks last time, didn't he? I'm actually not really sure when he got that barracks, because the Reaper did come out and got across the map before the true portion of SpeCial's build came into effect. Clem does SEV scout, by the way, this time, so totally called it. He sees no barracks, sees that it is a factory back at home, so he's gonna strike out on his list of things that could be happening. The idea that it's the proxy Marauder with Reapers. He cannot strike out the possibility of it being proxy Marauder. Proxy Marauder. Oh boy. I'm not drunk. I'm not tired, I swear. My tongue just decided to get a little twisted. I couldn't have done it if I tried. Proxer Marauder. There you go. Nailed it. So that's a bunker, and that's another painful opener for SpeCial. Not nearly as painful, though, right? Because he's not nearly as dedicated. Clem still delays his command center to get this defense up and rolling, and SpeCial could still kind of get a pseudo-contain with the 2 Marauders on the low ground if he wanted to, which he is. There you go. Not nearly as bad. Clem, are you gonna proxy a starport? He could proxy starport Banshee. That'd be something. He might be checking for a proxy starport, in fact, and that's a good use of his SCV, which isn't gonna be able to make its way home soon anyways. If it was a proxy starport, it'd be down here, though. He's gonna try and come home. No! Oh, he realizes. By the way, I think Clem is streaming. If you wanted to watch his first-person view, he's quite an entertaining player to watch. Give you seasickness. Good lock on. Not much that SpeCial can do about it. Really not much he can do about it. Yeah, kind of a little tug of war there. Marauder Micro versus the Cyclone inevitably killing them at the bunker. It is inevitable. Clem's very unlikely to lose the Cyclone. But SpeCial might try and dive after it. Well, now he shouldn't. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Never listen to me. I'm terrible at this game. I just saw his units reinforcing, and I wondered if he was going to dive. I still think he might have dived. I don't know. He might, yeah, I mean, look, right? See? 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 I'm not crazy. I'm not totally wrong. It just didn't work out, though. One, because the Cyclone barely freaking lived, and two, the tank didn't get a full lock on from SpeCial Cyclone, so didn't end up being worth it, really, on any front for SpeCial. Just sat down at Prox and Marauder, now I'm having a very good day.
Twitch Prime
glad.
sub received. Thank you.
Thank you, SC2 Cicada, for the Prime sub, because of my tongue-tiedness. Proxy Myrati. Someone make a meme. Quick, ASAP. Get Karma on Reddit. Clem is just all over this TvT, guys. Even these two SCVs going down is a big bummer, because that also scouted the fact that it's 3 Cyclones, and if it's 3 Cyclones, it must be Cyclone upgrade as well. So Clem also just scouted really SpeCial's entire follow-up plan. And that is quite important, because there is a very high chance that the usual Terran player who's doing usual Terran things thinks that they might have an opportunity to counterattack. They just had a slam dunk defense, right? So they might think, oh, I can counterattack and I can contain this guy because I'm going to have, you know, more tanks, maybe one more tank, my Raven's going to be faster, something along those lines, right? And that would just be incorrect. He would have moved out onto the middle of the map and gotten locked on by 3 or 4 Cyclones and he would have died. But Clem scouts, he just keeps it close to his chest, which I think he was going to do anyways. I don't think he was actually planning on moving out because his 3rd CC is not even done, so there's not really even a point in it. That is a freaking 4th command center. I knew something was up with that production tab. I thought something was funny. Why does he have a 4th command center already on the way? Wow. Alright. And what happened also was that SpeCial just lost his surprise Banshee. He is finally gonna get a tank? Jesus, not even. Barely doesn't grab a tank. Everything that can go wrong. Oh my god. The StarCraft 2 interpretation of Murphy's Law is in effect right now. Thank you, SpeCial. He is cray-cray. Now, SpeCial is using his map control to get a faster 3rd CC, so that's exactly what he wanted to do. Kudos on the game plan there. Of course, he's not really going to have all that much faster of a 3rd CC because his aggression isn't working. He still has map control. Still has to be... He's the big bully as far as moving around the middle of the map goes. Clem's got to be very careful about it. But he's not really getting that much faster of a 3rd CC. And he's also already behind on the 4th CC. Because Clem just decided to go crazy. Because this isn't just like a... I mean, we're not talking about Silver League here, guys. Sorry, Silver Leaguers. We're not talking about, oh god, I don't know what to do with 400 extra minerals. I guess I go for command center, which is totally fine if you're at that position. If you're at that skill level right now where you just slow down anything at all, please throw down anything you want. But absolutely, this is a decision. Because he could have thrown down 2 barracks and then 2 other barracks and still been right in line with the TvT. It looks like he's anticipating the mech follow-up, which 9 times out of 10 with the Cyclone opener, it is going to be mech. I have seen SpeCial play bio from this opener, but it is rare. So he's anticipating a very slow game where he is not going to be punished. He's already got a slam dunk defense going for him, and the follow-up from his opponent didn't work, and the follow-up of that follow-up is a very slow type of army composition, both in its build-up and in its movement. So he says they're going to get a 4th CC. Then he goes for a 2nd starport, which is really, has been proven to be quite the kryptonite of mech players who play standard mech. Fortunate for SpeCial fans, SpeCial is not a standard mech player. So while if this was 3 factory and 1 starport and he was doing his, his duties, as a mech player and continuing to build Vikings, he would lose out. It'd be 2 Vikings production versus 3. Sad, sad mech player. Because it is 3 starports and Clem only has 2, what actually might happen is Clem might be sad. He might be thinking he's going to win the air war, go to win it, be rebuffed, and then go, oh, but I don't have that much ground. Could you die? That'd be really great. And SpeCial says, no. Good scan. So he's going to know that his air tactics aren't really going to work nearly as much, so he's going to double down on them. So we're kind of skipping, we're really skipping the bio portion, because I know we see some barracks producing. It's not really the most important thing. The really critical piece of information that Clem is still missing, right? Fantastic scan, good on him to make sure. He is still missing the hidden base. SpeCial is doing some super special tactics, perhaps even platinum level tactics. Hidden command center into battlecruiser is some what a lot of people would say is low level. There's a lot of reasons to why this wouldn't work against a guy like Clem, but it works out in that funny way when we're talking about pros again, right? Because the mind game is so much more important than the mechanical processes. Well, sometimes it's so much more important than the mechanical processes. So in a game like this, where things have been a little topsy-turvy, been a little weird, Clem's trying to anticipate something that's already being anticipated. I know that you know that I know that you know. Picking up on the hidden base is going to be a lot more difficult. If this was a straight-up 3cc, 3cc, tank fight, marine drop, Clem's probably already determined that something is up, but it's just too weird of a game. So SpeCial is not only going to get away with a 4th base, he's going to steal minerals from Clem's side of the map. So he's being sneaky and rude. He's like that guy that went behind you and while you're taking a picture and didn't just photobomb it. He put his middle finger up. Got a long TvT ahead, I think. Which kind of bums me out. It's interesting. The first 10 minutes were interesting to explain all the, again, he know that I know that he knows, blah, blah, blah. Anything from here on out is a lot more boring. Okay. So the Vikings just bopped the 2 battlecruisers. Clem did scan the fusion core alongside the starports, right? So he knew that was on the way. And SpeCial is probably going to be punished for his battlecruisers. They produce too slow. They're not dependable until they're in larger numbers. He really needs to get back into building Vikings. Which he does do. So SpeCial, he's a smart guy. He knows that he can't just get away with mass battlecruiser. Had he not been scanned, he might have tried. But yeah, definitely not now. So more starports. And more command centers. Clem leading the Viking count currently 36 to 23. And SpeCial has no Thors, no Cyclones. 3 Ravens, but that's, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Clem also has the superior economy, despite not knowing about this hidden 4th base, and the fact that he is 6 base versus 5, not 6 base versus 4. But, why is SpeCial doing this? Okay, I guess he can't tell that he's losing the Viking war. To be fair, it is hard to tell. Auto turrets get slapped down, but he's still not going to win the battle. So I think that is just simply put, hard to tell. There's a certain number of Vikings where you just give up on counting them, isn't there? But SpeCial might start winning the Viking war. Battlecruisers did not teleport here, so they're going to be able to teleport out. Excellent use of just basically harassment units at this point. And Clem, it's not quite the dominating engagement that he was hoping for. The auto turrets did help out. But he's now just waiting patiently for his liberators. And SpeCial is about to even up the base count by the looks of things. But Clem even has the faster upgrades. Love that he got smart turbos too. Another Viking war, 27 to 23. So Clem should still win. A lot more of his Vikings were injured. And even though Vikings do overkill, I mean, I think that's still impactful enough. Yeah. Kind of countered by the anti-armor missile right there. Well, if SpeCial doesn't win the air war, then he's not going to be able to break past any amount of Liberators. He brings 1 or 2 Thors into the fray, and then he can, easily deal with this type of situation. Oh, or just find the Vikings out of position, which they absolutely were. Vikings went to respond to the battle cruisers? Yes, the battle cruisers. But, Liberator dies, doesn't hold the line. It's still okay because Clem still has a good army. He is starting to lose out in the Viking war, but now he's winning on the Raven side of things. And with the number of Vikings being way closer than the last time I pointed out who had Ravens, who didn't. 4 Ravens will be huge contributors. Huge. Clem's not going to get his upgrade timing here as 2-2 finishes for SpeCial, but he is still ahead on it. He's got 3-3 already started up. And now that things are finally rolling in his direction, now that he's actually the one pressuring, that'll probably have a ripple effect. Oh, that Viking war did not go well, though. No at all. Not at all. Faster reinforcements playing a big part for SpeCial's defense. Plus, he already had 3 more Vikings to begin with, but then probably more like 6 or 7 more Vikings because they were there faster. And Clem's not gonna find the ball rolling like I thought he was. He is still bothering to get some ground upgrades, so he is preparing for a potential ground transition, which I'm happy to see. It's easier for the bio player to prepare and enact a ground transition than it is for the mech player. Auto turrets get slapped down. How many actually are getting to be in effect there, though? The tanks on the ground of SpeCial kind of did a good job clearing them out, but auto turret's still good, and it looks like it's going to be a very close battle indeed. Now Clem's the one's going to have faster reinforcements, and holy god, he's producing 11 Vikings at a time. Yeah, he's going to be all right. SpeCial is going to overstay his welcome in just 1 second here. Yeah, SCV's trying to repair, but now we got the focus fire. Well, not even focus fire. I think they just... Well, yeah, a little bit of focus fire. 10 more Vikings on the way. 3-3 is about 35 seconds away from finishing, but the rally is the big important thing here. SpeCial can't rally any faster. He can't suddenly get Warp Gate. And now even the bio on the ground is helping. Vikings land on top of the tanks and completely clear that out. And while sometimes that does cost the Viking lead, in this case it does not. Clem now just winning on every single front. Supplies really telling the tale here. And SpeCial is somewhat desperately adding on these Banshees. I noticed him adding it on earlier, so I think that's what's killing 8 SCVs. But because of the battle cruisers, Clem already had, I think, a couple missile turrets placed. So it was like one of those weird situations where you open Stargate so they have spores and then you try to win with DTs. It's like, well, they have spores. So you're not going to win just because you have Invisible Men. And, yep, he did scan. I think he saw the refinery. This is what you guys are talking about. So he went and finally took care of this hidden base, which already is mined out a lot, but has not given SpeCial the game like he was hoping. Ground Viking. Okay, and all with a upgrade lead for Clem, by the way. Alright, that's how that goes. Clem now up AD supply. SpeCial's gonna tap out. GG. Clem, not phased at all. Didn't matter that it was a unorthodox game. And a long game. A late game. Clem looked unfazed. Could have sworn it was on top of the blue dots in the minimap. I did not see it at all. But he might have just shift-clicked his tanks around, actually. And so he accidentally scouted the hidden base. That might have been what happened. He realized you don't need tanks. Not much else to do except just shift-click them to a base. Now up 2-0. We look upon the Red Terran, Liquid Clem. This cute little polar bear. He's so cute. I like that he also uses the little paw print. It's cute. On the bottom left, we have SpeCial for Storm Gaming, who has decided not to go for a proxy this time around. So Marauder proxy and Reapers, the first game was really a complete failure. Bad build order, methinks. Build order loss. There you go. Then the second game, he just Marauder proxies, and I don't think it was as bad. I wouldn't call it a complete failure, but it was still a failure because nothing happened in its favor. You know, the initial Marauders, they get figured out, a bunker's prepared. The Marauder proxy guy is gonna go, aw shucks. You know, this wasn't what I wanted, but it's not as committed, so SpeCial can still hopefully get something done on the follow-up. As I said, Cyclones could have maybe gotten the tank. The Marauder could kill the Cyclone, and the Cyclones get the tank, and then it's a snowball effect. The Cyclones allow for a faster third CC on location, so SpeCial catches up that way. I think there's a lot of chances the follow-up goes, and then nothing worked out. Absolutely zero things worked out. No units died for Clem. Third CC wasn't as fast, and Clem had already predicted accurately how the game was going to go beyond it, so he got the super quick fourth base, went into starports, and while SpeCial was also kind of predicting, he ultimately still went into the more inefficient build, I guess, like at the end of the day, you know? 2 battlecruisers never really paid off. Fusion Core plus 2 battlecruisers is a heck of a lot of cash. And even though he used them about as well as possible just to move them and teleport them out, as harassment unit goes, like they didn't do anything really. How many SCVs did they kill? So that was pretty bad. And then I think there wasn't really a point of no return for SpeCial until the last 2 minutes of that game. So I think there's still a lot that could have been done. 5 base to 6 base, Viking War to Viking War. It's just that SpeCial was perhaps unknowingly always taking a bit of a questionable fight. Because even when he was ahead in Vikings, he didn't really get anything from the push. And then Clem was producing 11 at a time. So he would eventually be outgunned. I really don't know what SpeCial should have done in more of that mid to later section of that last TvT. Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe add Thors. It's just not a game that I'm really familiar with, so I don't know how SpeCial would look to improve on it either. I think 100% SpeCial has played some games that look like that, but I'm guessing that something else had happened during that game. Again, the Cyclone did die, the tanks did get locked on, the third CC was faster. Just like none of that happened in that game. So I have no idea what SpeCial will do to improve in a situation like that. But it changes things up entirely for the last potential game anyways. And that's just a good old-fashioned 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion. Clem is going 2 Reaper? No, 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion. 1 Hellion. There we go. Yeah. Interestingly enough, SpeCial's gonna force the issue once you get rid of that Reaper. Shoot, what am I? He is going to lose a Reaper and his second Reaper in the process, and apparently not gonna kill any freaking units? Are you freaking kidding me? What? No. One of you jump off a cliff right now. That's so unfair. If this was 3 ladder games in a row, and I'm SpeCial, and this is my 3rd ladder game where I'm gonna lose, and it starts like this, I just would tap out right there. The universe is clearly against you. Jesus. And it's not that big of a deal because, well, no, it is still a big deal actually. Clem coming with his own Cyclone makes this a very big deal. A game-ending type of deal. Oh my god, is he just gonna win the game? Stop it, he's already dead. Alright, tank's gonna pop out and save the day. We're good. Save the save. Save the Raven, save the Raven, save the Raven! Oh, thank goodness. You gotta cheer for SpeCial at this point, man. No! Oh my god, stop it! Holy shit. Holy shit, the universe is still against SpeCial. Good lord. Is this Raven gonna come in and throw down an auto turret? Would you be so rude? Okay, no, not that rude. Boop, boop, boo. What a TvT series for Clem, man. What a TvT series. SpeCial sieging up here for hopefully a few easy shots. That would go a long way if Clem falls for the trap. We do have bio versus bio, too. SpeCial adding on that stim. Clem already working on 1-1, long before his stim starts. He sees the siege up with a Marine, I think, was already headed out that way. So good scouting Marine. Very good scouting Marine. And notice that he has the temporary Viking lead. I don't know why there's only one on the front lines. There's the other one. Oh, I was gonna say, did he forget stim? Realizes his mistake, starts up stim. So he's gonna have later stim and thus later combat shields, but faster 1-1, considerably faster 1-1. No engineer base for SpeCial. And Clem also has 14 more workers. We're about to have a little fight here, maybe a game-deciding fight. Auto turrets getting thrown down for both sides. And it looks like SpeCial's was better. I don't know exactly how, but that's the way it worked out. Better temporarily. Tail end of that tank got hit. Both of them trade out their Ravens, but Clem just has more units. SpeCial needs to abandon ship and try and turtle back at home, which will mean that his third base might have to be lifted. So ultimately, he still loses the game, whether he holds on right here, right now, or not. He's pretty freaking dead. Vikings come in to obliterate the tank. Taking the high ground is going to help, but SpeCial also seeing the writing on the wall. Taps out. GG. What a sad game. What a sad series for SpeCial. I just feel for SpeCial. There's so many things that were not supposed to happen the way that it did. It just seemed like something I say about SpeCial a lot of the time. Cool ideas, not quite able to win because of X or Y factor. In that case, in that series, it was just Clem playing pretty perfect TvT. I don't know, man.